everyone. I am so excited today. I have literally, this has been one of the most exciting probably calls that I've done, you guys, this year, believe it or not. And, before I introduce Natalie, let me give you a little bit of background. I actually have known Natalie for 6 years. She was somebody that mentored me. She has been just so valuable to our business. And I'm talking for Jay and I both. With her background, she's got so many coaching certificates, and she actually is a very good educator, and she's a great teacher. And so I'm really excited to have her in a little bit of a different role, but still sharing with us her best practices, what she knows, and all of her talents and skill set. And so she has come back as in the field as a leader in our field as a market partner, and I'm really super excited because she is just such a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so honored that she's here today. So I'm actually might get I'm a little teary-eyed because I'm so excited. So without further ado, let me introduce the Natalie Richardson. So Natalie, I'm so glad that you joined us right away, to share with us. So I'm just gonna shut up and turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. And thank you for that amazing introduction. It is beyond my wildest dreams that I am back here on this side. And I told somebody the other day, it feels like I'm back home and I got an upgraded room. So it is just, again, not anything that I saw coming, and the perfect, I think, personification, example, whatever you want to call it, of my favorite quote. And if you know me, you know what's coming. And that's Corey Ten Boom. Every person that God puts in your life, every situation that he puts in your path is the perfect preparation for a future that only he can see. And when you look back over your life and you start connecting those dots of, if I hadn't done this, I wouldn't have met so-and-so and so-and-so and such, on, it helps you kind of connect those dots so that when crappy things happen, you can say, all right, I don't like this, but something better will come out of it. And the perfect example for that was me in May when I was laid off from the corporate job that I loved. It was what I called my coffin job. I was going to do it until I died or retired, whichever came first, and had no plans to go anywhere else. So it is just amazing what God has done in my life, and how those relationships and the experiences that I had over those 6 years perfectly prepared me to step into this role as a market partner. So slightly higher investment than a product pack. We won't talk about that because I will pay that back, and I'm excited to do so. But it speaks to, that investment speaks to just how much I do believe in this company. And that's when Toni asked me to be on this call, and I said, what would you like me to talk about? And we kind of came up with, let's talk about that unwavering belief, because there are a lot of things that can make you question certain decisions or certain situations in your life and start you on a path that can really take you to kind of a dark place if you let it. So I looked up just the definitions of unwavering and belief. And unwavering is never moving or looking away from something, never changing or becoming weaker. Belief is that feeling of being certain that something exists or is true. So to say you can have 100% unwavering belief is probably a stretch, but it is the goal of having that in your life, like believing in those things that you've come to trust. Irregardless, or regardless, I guess. I had a teacher once tell me that irregardless is not a word, but whichever you prefer, it is that belief that keeps you going. So the other words that kind of come to mind are the faith, the trust, the confidence, conviction, optimism, certainty, assurance. Well, as business owners, those are nice to haves, but you're not going to have them 100% of the time, whether you're in a corporate job or you're the entrepreneur that you are with your money business. And this is the relationship business. So it's like every other relationship in your life. So if you have a significant other, a spouse, even your kids or other loved ones in your life, most of the time you love them unequivocally. Like there's no question. You can't imagine loving them any more than you already do. But then there are days that you would sell your kids on eBay, smother your spouse with a pillow, and just walk away from all of it. Like you're just, ugh! Your business can be like that too. And in that moment, you have the choice of choosing to stay with it, choosing to believe, choosing to move forward. So your business is that significant other and that opportunity for you to decide, am I in this come hell or high water? Yeah, Stephanie says teenagers. Exactly. Reminds me of a thing as a grandma now. I saw grandchildren are God's reward for not killing your own. So for those of you with teenagers, hold on to that. It gets better. Mine are 27 and 28, and I wouldn't change a thing. But again, there were times that I wanted to choke them. Kids are a little bit different. You can't be like, okay, you're out of here. But it is, it kind of brings to mind the opportunity that I had to miss Monty. You've all heard that phrase that absence makes the heart grow fonder. So for me, that 5 months of, okay, the first month was a pity party. I'm not going to lie. It was just me stepping back, thinking about, okay, what am I going to do now? Like, how am I going to move forward? So I just focused on grieving and taking care of me. And then really started thinking, okay, so what's my next step? And it was hard. It was really hard. So I started looking at other companies, immediately started looking at the corporate roles that were available, but I've never been able to work for any company that I did not believe in their products. And kind of a funny story. I don't know if any of you know this, but when I was approached by the recruiter for the corporate job at Money, and she said, oh, it's the shampoo company. I was like, I don't think so, but send me the job description anyway. So the more I found out about the company, I was like, oh my gosh, I love, you saw Stuart McMillan dressed up as a rock star. It was February. Y'all were in Houston for Monations back when it was in February. And getting to see all those things, but I was like, all right, but I got to try these products because if they're not good, I can't do it. I can't do it. So I signed up as a VIP. I bought probably $350 worth of stuff just to try it. And the more I used it, the more I fell in love. So when I had my interview with Ray, ultimately, first interview with Stuart, second interview with Ray, and Senor Luis was there on the side with the interpreter. Didn't know he was going to be there. So that's nice. You're in a job interview. Picture yourself like you're already nervous and you want to put your best foot forward. So I'm talking with Ray. They're over here talking, translating all the things. And I casually drop intentionally to Ray that I had signed up as a VIP. And he says, really? You did? I said, well, absolutely. I'm not going to work with or for a company that I don't believe in their products. And he goes, well, tell me what you love about the products. I said, well, I'll tell you what I don't like. And he kind of looked at me and I said, your dry shampoo is the bomb. But I came in last night for this flight and I fly home tomorrow. I couldn't justify checking a bag. So I had to use drugstore dry shampoo this morning and I did not like it one bit. And then there's this pause. I'm like, oh, maybe sarcasm and humor wasn't the best thing to bring into this interview at that moment. He pauses. He starts talking in Spanish to Senor Luis and they all start laughing finally. I'm like, oh, praise God. So as you can tell, I made it through the interview. But it was that belief in the products that brought me into the company. That's the belief in the products that helped me be so good in the role that I had, because I wasn't telling you to promote something that I didn't believe and didn't use myself. It's the belief in those products that kept me going through the summer and brought me back when this opportunity came about. So I won't lie. Over the summer, I tried other products because even before, if I saw an influencer sharing products, I'd be like, well, no, I'm not going to try that. It's not Money. I'm corporate. I can't use something else. What if the field found out? So I didn't try anything. Well, over the summer, I did try a few products, and all it did was remind me how much better our products are. So it's that experience, and it kind of reminds me of a past role that I had when I was the fundraising lady. So I was the candy lady, the cookie lady. Those of you with kids in school, yes, I know I was the bane of your existence, but it proved a vital role to the schools. I put a lot of playgrounds and programs in place, and I'm proud of it. But we always had to do a cattle call every spring. And I call it the cattle call because it was all the fundraising people would line up in front of the school board, the PTA, whoever the decision maker was, school principal, and have to tell them why our program was the best one and they should choose it. Well, none of those fundraising consultants are going to walk in and say, you know, our products are mediocre and our customer service, it could be better, but you should go with us. They're all going to come in and say, we've got the best products, the best profit percentage, all the things, you should go with us. I always felt like you couldn't go in and say those things unless you really checked out the competition. Now, I'm not telling you to go and spend a lot of time looking at them, because I did it for 5 months. Well, 4 months, because I took that first month off to I took those 4 months to look at those other products. And what that experience back in the fundraising days taught me was, when you know why you're the best product, why you're the best program, why you're the best comp plan, when you know, and you can compare it to others, high level, you don't have to get in the details and you don't have to bash anybody else, then you have that confidence and belief that, you know what, this is what I want to be offering. This is the company I want to be with. So in those 4 months, I looked at other companies, corporate side, there were roles that, you know, could have come my way, but I couldn't get excited about their products. So it brings me back to something that was shared on my team call. First team call last night, team New Beginnings, whoop, whoop. But one of them, Lindsay Duell, and that's a name you're probably going to hear again and again, because she is a rock star, and you're going to hear her name, I guarantee it. But when I asked them, I said, so I'm a new market partner in a sense. I've got experience, but in my role now, I'm starting out as a new market partner. So if you could go back and tell your new market partner self one thing, like what might you do differently? And she brought up such a great point and said, remember how excited you were the first time you used the product. Remember, and I said, wow, we say so many times, remember your why. So I've got this new phrase now that I'm going to be teaching with my team is remember your wow. Because when you've been here long enough and you use the products regularly, I think you kind of take them for granted. That goes not just for the products, but for the community, because I had taken it for granted until it was taken away. Hold on. You cannot cry and drink water at the same time. I didn't know if you know that. So when you feel like you're losing it, take a drink of water, it pulls it all back together. But I had taken for granted that community and how much it meant until it was gone. So I'm hoping that you don't have to have that break to appreciate what you have with Fun 8. I've gone out, I've experienced it for you, and I came back on my dime because I believe in the products. I believe in you guys. And I believed, you know what, I can do this. And it was actually my husband, Todd. And if you've met him, you know, he can be persuasive. He was the one that in this conversation with Sam, and he said, who are you texting? And I said, oh, it's a leader, you know, who's in the process of trying to sell her business. He was the one that pushed me and said, Natalie, why wouldn't you do that? And I expected him to be the first person to be like, why would you go back to a company that did that? But he saw the difference. He saw the impact that so many of you had made when he got to go to the events with me, when he got to see the recognition and hear the stories. And it's not even just the money, the changes that it has brought for people. It was just that community. And I got to tell you, it took 5 years for that man to propose. So he is not easily swayed. You guys should put that in your cap and know that you made an impact on him for sure. So the remember your wow, that goes for the products and the financial opportunity. So when I say, oh, thank you, Tracy. When I say, you know, the products, they are worth the price. And now that I'm not corporate, I can say, use flash sales judiciously. not exclusively. Okay. Flash sales are your opportunity to get people in, but you don't need flash sales to sell these products. When I joined the company, there were not a lot of flash sales. These products are worth exactly what their price is. So I would encourage you to focus on your solutions. My focus from the customer side of my business will be how to maximize your curls and look fabulous over 50. Because if you saw my live last Friday, you know, it used to be 17 magazine was kind of like the max. That was our educational resource for how to look pretty. And that would explain all of the pictures that you see now when you go back and look at our school pictures from back in the day. So I hope to serve that part of, you know, women my age that, you know what, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can still learn to just be your best self, whatever that means, show up the best version of you. I kind of got myself off track here, but focus on sharing the solutions and not the sale. So if you look at some of the best influencers, the people that are really killing it, they're not out there flashing up the graphics for the flash sale, talking about, oh, because customers get confused. They don't understand. Well, when you buy 3 products, you get this and you can do that. No. What are you looking for? What improvement do you want in your hair, your skin, your wellness? I personally plan to focus on the hair and make it, oh, by the way, we've got skincare and all that too. The skincare makeup, I didn't want to like it. I'm not going to lie, because that was when I was trying to get over the breakup, but I loved it. Loved it. So it's working those things into my everyday that you will see me doing once I get done loving on my team and getting my bearings, because it's been a lot. And it hasn't been a full week yet. But that's my focus with the products. So these are worth the price. You are worth the price. And I would encourage every one of you to maximize your before and afters, maximize your customers' before and afters, because that's what provides belief, and people are looking for it. They are looking for it more than we, I think, realize. And again, because we've gotten so used to it, it's like, yeah, I woke up like this. Other people want to wake up like this too. So that's what I'll say about the products. For the financial opportunity, it is still the best one out there. And I know that when times are tough, and I've heard people saying, well, you know, my paycheck is down. Paychecks are down everywhere. People are getting laid off from companies. You know, work hours are being cut back if you're an hourly employee. So the paychecks are down. So I guess the question would become, do you want to start over somewhere else? Or how about you start over where you are right now? Because you've already got the experience. You've got the product knowledge, you've got the community. Maybe what you're lacking is the belief. You've let those voices get into your head. You've let the negativity, you've let other people. Yeah, you have to focus, go out and help people, because you're letting the people, whether it is a disgruntled downline member or a customer that's just not going to be happy regardless, you've let them get in your head and tell you how everybody else is going to react or respond when you reach out. So you can't let them in. If I had let my concern of, well, what are people going to think if I go back to a company that laid me off? I wouldn't be here. I would not be here. So I'm loving the dancing with the little ones. I'm seeing it. I love it. That's Megan. Sorry, squirrel. This side is much more accommodating to my ADD. I'm so excited. But starting over with money is a possibility every single day, every single month. So I would encourage you, if you've held off on sponsoring, if you've held off offering the opportunity because you're feeling whatever, one of the best ways to fall in love with it again is to fall in love with it through somebody else's eyes. And I think it's a perfect example that Megan's got that little one in her lap. You know, my grandkids he'll be 4 this month, and my granddaughter will be 2 in February. Christmas has a whole new meaning. Christmas had gotten to the point where like, oh my God, we got to put up the tree. We got to do all these decorations. And then we got to do the shopping. Then we got to do the wrapping. We got to do all the things. And now it has a whole new level of excitement because I get to see it through my grandkids' eyes. That puts a whole new spin on, you know what? I get to put up these decorations. I get to make these memories for my grandchildren. I get to be part of what they'll look back on and want to do for their children. This business is the same way. So if you have let the frustrations and the, I want to smother my business with a pillow relationship, it's time to step back and remember your why and remember your wow. And my Remember Your Why sweatshirt just arrived in my mailbox. I got the notification. So I'm excited that it's here. So I'll bring that together with watch your thoughts. And funny story, when I was out of money for this little brief period, officially, I was in the process of building my own consulting business. I had invested more money than I care to think about right now in a consulting workshop that was going to really get me focused on what is the thing that I'm going to offer so that I could work with other direct sales companies at the corporate level. And it's still not a waste. Back to my favorite quote, every situation prepares you. So it's not a wasted investment because some of the things that I learned will help me in this as well. And there was an exercise that she took us through, the lady leading it, that says, you know, you have to be careful with what your default thought is and get intentional about deliberate. So you want to go from default to deliberate. And the cycle is kind of this. It starts with a circumstance. Something happens. So something happens that you don't like, which takes you to your thought. The thought is kind of that critical point because thought is followed by feeling. So it goes circumstance, thought, feeling, actions, result. So I would encourage you to try to catch yourself when you feel yourself going down that negative road. When you start going down that, it's not going to work. I've tried this. My paycheck's down. All those words. No. So the circumstance, whatever it might be, it could be, you know, the bronzer is sold out. I'm devastated because I got in to order that. I didn't order all the makeup when I first tried it. So I can't get bronzer for a while. So it's that circumstance, which would take you to the thought. So the thought could be, oh, great. I can't even get started now because I can't even get the bronzer, which takes me to the feeling like, oh my gosh, can I do this? Which gets me to the action of, no, I can't do this. And the result is nothing. So if you took that circumstance, like, okay, the bronzer's sold out. The thought is, wow, the bronzer's sold out. It just launched in September and it's already so popular. It's sold out temporarily. So the feeling is, you know what? I'm so excited. I can't wait to get that in my hands and in the hands of my customers. So the action is I can create a wait list. Hey, when, you know what? You're going to want this. I'm assuming I haven't tried it, but I know it will be. You're going to want this when it comes in. So would you like to be on my list to get this when it's available? The result is I have a wait list for when that product comes back. I use that as an example, but I think you can see how that applies to everything. It's all in how you spin it. So same thing with your teams. I remember one point when Rejuvenique was temporarily sold out. And I remember having this conversation with leaders. It was like, okay, so you have two ways to share this with your team. And that's where, first of all, the energy for yourself is strong enough reason to do this. But if you have a team, it's even more important that you be that positive direction for them. So with the Rejuvenique, it was, okay, I can say, can you believe the Rejuvenique is sold out? How could the company sell out of our flagship product? Like, who lets that happen? Oh my gosh. That energy will infect your team. It will infect your whole mindset. It will derail you from anything positive versus, wow, our flagship product has become so popular that it is temporarily unavailable. Wow, that speaks to the power of this product. So it is all in how you choose to either be default versus deliberate. So that would be my challenge or my call to action for you, is especially heading into this holiday season when there are so many things pulling on you, so many responsibilities, so many feelings. You got in-laws, outlaws, all the people coming in. So it is just a recipe for stress, right? So not just with your business, but with anything. is, yeah, if anyone has questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. But with anything is default versus deliberate. Am I defaulting to a frame of thought and mind that is not serving me or my team, that has not gotten me to a good place? Or can I be deliberate and ask, okay, what's another way to look at this? Kind of the silver lining. Those that know me know I always try to find the silver lining. I know I've driven Toni nuts with it on occasion on coaching calls, because she would call, because Toni gets that you complain up, you praise down. So with your teams, you complain up, you praise down. And I even told Toni, okay, you got 5 minutes, let it out, sister. You let it out, and then we're moving forward. So I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments and getting myself distracted here. But the point is, get it out, but keep focusing on the positive, because if you allow yourself to focus on the negative, it will bring you down. I've been there. There was a dark couple of weeks there in like June, but it's all good now. It's actually amazing and better than it ever was. So I would say, if you are in a part in your business that is not where you want to be, I mean, and I'll be blunt, some of you may have considered other opportunities. You're thinking, okay, what can I do to supplement? Okay, there's Sweet Home Alabama. If you've ever watched that movie, there's a great line from that movie that says, you can't ride 2 horses with 1 butt, Sugar Bridges. So for those of you who, I'm glad that helped. But for those of you who are thinking, I may need to do something else, you know what? I can't answer that for you financially, but what I can tell you is what you focus on grows, what you focus on expands. So if you, the corporate world, I got to turn the chat off or I won't finish. And then I'll go back in and look at it, because it's just adorable little squirrels that I want to like pick up and hug each one. But I would encourage you, if you have not been all in, I invite you to go all in with me, because trust me, I am all in. My husband is all in. We made a significant investment, so I get to do this with all of you again. I could talk all day, but I want to see what questions there might be. Good. All in. That's right. I love it. Yes, Sue, she is recording this. I love it.
Does anyone have more questions for Natalie at all?
Megan, I missed the first 5. Did you resign the corporate side and become a market partner? I didn't resign. I was part of a round of layoffs the end of May, and it was painful. But I will say this, and I shared this on my team call last night, is having been on the corporate side, trust me, you guys are on the better side of the equation, because with a company that size comes tough decisions. And I don't envy the executive team for having to make the choices that they did. I won't say I agreed with it, but I can say that now. But there's a phrase that I heard that says, what's right is not always popular, and what's popular is not always right. You guys don't want to be part of the financial conversations and the financial responsibilities that come with operating a company the size of Money or any company. And if you work in a corporate job, you know the stresses that can come with that. So I am telling you, you are in a perfect position to benefit from those tough decisions, trusting in that they always work out the way they're supposed to. It didn't make sense to me at the end of May, and I know it didn't make sense to a lot of you, but now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. I get to do what I want with all of you. Yeah, layoffs are, I've been on the side of having to lay people off. So I know how difficult that is. And again, I don't envy them. I just am beyond grateful that Ray, and I did reach out to Ray. I want you to know this. I texted Ray when we were in the conversations about this and just said, hey, I want you to be aware, this is my intent. When we spoke after I left, you indicated you'd welcome me back as a market partner, and I hope that sentiment still remains. And he replied with, your passion and excitement has never been questioned. I would welcome you back with open arms. Some companies wouldn't do that. So I am grateful for the lessons I learned, the perspective I gained, and grateful for a husband that saw the value and pushed me to do this.
I took copious notes. But just the whole thing, and I'm going to write this on my whiteboard right here, default versus deliberate. I think that's very, very powerful.
It is. And it works in so many different ways, not even your business, especially your business, but other things as well.
I was wondering if I could just unmute and talk really quick.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Brittany.
I just want to say, Natalie, this is so beautiful. There could not have been a better person that has bought, whatever it was, there could not have been a better person. And I'm just so happy for you. I also got laid off, but decided to return. I could have went to any other company as well. But my heart is with this company. So I joined Toni, and she's been a godsend to me. And yeah, so we're in this together, sister. So you're more like my mom, but the most beautiful mom ever. But yeah, we're in this together. And again, it's the products, it's the belief, it's the company. There's nothing like it. So.
Well, I will say, Brittany, your mom was part of my summer. Her post-it note with the "how do I want to be remembered" was everything. So thank you for saying that. This is just one great big kumbaya. I love it.
So you guys, if no one else has any questions, I really want you to, I'm going to get this recording up right away because I know that people are going to want to re-listen to this. And I know that there were people that couldn't be on. Natalie, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for your time this afternoon.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It was a huge, huge compliment. And I like it to be kind of, obviously I have a sizable team that I am working to get to know and want to connect with as many people as I can. But I also want to encourage cross-line collaboration, sideline collaboration, because we are all human. And if I know anything from getting to work with so many leaders over the 6 years at corporate, is their hearts are 99.9% always in the right place. Their experience level may not be. And we are all human and everybody makes mistakes. So if you have an upline or your sponsor has not been whatever you thought they should be, give them grace, give yourself grace, and reach out, because there is no shortage to the number of people who will welcome you with open arms, embrace you, lock arms with you, and let's run together. So don't let that or those hurt feelings keep you from achieving what you are capable of doing. So obviously I do have to attend to my team, but again, because of who I am and the connections I have with all of you, I am never going to be that person who's like, you're not on my team, I can't help you. So I'm just working to find that balance and hope that we can all get to a point where it doesn't matter whose team you're on. Let's just all work together.
And that's what we're truly about as community. I mean, that's our secret sauce. All right, so I think we are wrapped up for today. I want to thank everybody for showing up, turning on your cameras, and seeing your beautiful faces. You guys know we do this call every Tuesday at noon. We have an awesome special guest speaker. 3 out of the 4 times a month that we're on this call, sharing the best practices with you guys. So again, we'll have this recording out to you, and I want to thank you for joining us and showing up, because that is the one thing that makes you different in your business than all of the other network marketers out there and people that are even in Monate. Show up, show up, show up, show up. Natalie, thanks again for all of your wonderful wisdom. I could listen to you all day, my friend.
Likewise.
All right, you guys, take care. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Well, let's go and let's make this like the best month that we've had this year. I already see it. Let's roll.
Woo! Bye, everybody.
Bye.